Hey guys, welcome back to the Full Co. If you haven't had your fill already of Tottenham Hotspur, I thought I'd jump on and do a quick video, a quick wrap up of the weekend and my thoughts on the general themes after another defeat for Tottenham Hotspur, going down 2-1 to Fulham. We find ourselves obviously in a situation where increasingly we are running out of road when it comes to the Premier League, 10 games left, and obviously a couple of fixtures in the Champions League, but we are definitely looking at the teams around us and looking down instead of looking up. So Tottenham find themselves in a really difficult situation. I just wanted to jump on. Now we've had Igor Tudor's second game. It's 2 defeats in a row, and kind of have a look at a few bits and pieces that caught my attention. So I'll kick off with the system. We had a change. We went to 4 at the back. We went to ostensibly a 4-4-1-1 or a 4-4-2. And I think the idea of the manager in this respect was, forced on him by the fact that we didn't have players available to play his favoured 3 at the back. I think he was protecting Danso, didn't really want him on the pitch or playing. And obviously, Christian Romero still got another game ban to go. Thanks for that, Christian. And so we had Dragushin and Romero. We lost Jed Spence to a calf injury. We did welcome back Pedro Porro, and so poor Archie Gray gets farmed out to the left-hand side, plays in the left-back position, and then we're playing with Conor Gallagher on the right, Paulinho Bissouma, Xavi Simons effectively off the left, but I think the idea was to rotate the team and have Xavi Simons dropping into the number 10 off the left, which he has done a lot, and then maybe 2 up front, or one dropping in a bit deeper and one a bit further forward with Colomwani and with Dom Solanke. Now, unfortunately, we were once again very, very poor. So in terms of progressing the ball forward, we did not get to see what I think the manager was trying to get to in terms of rotating the team, bringing Conor Gallagher into the middle in a 3, potentially then having a 2 up front, with Colomwani being the stretch player, Dom Solanke being the player who drops in and secures possession and stitches things together, and then Xavi Simons floating into that number 10 position to try and make things happen and to try and create some triangles, maybe with the midfield 2, or if we were higher up the pitch with the attacking 2, or maybe one of the fullbacks. We didn't see it at all. We didn't get to that stage. We weren't able to progress the ball, and then we went straight into Tottenham doing Tottenham things. Sometimes it's of our own doing, sometimes it's not. I think we can all agree that the first Fulham goal was, an absolute disgrace and should never have happened. We cannot keep having these decisions go against us, where that decision for the push in the back is fine if it's another team doing it to us, and we've seen that on a couple of occasions, but it's not okay if it's a Tottenham player, and we've seen that on a couple of occasions. So yeah, when you're down, and very often luck is not with you. But right now, the officials are not with us. The rub of the green certainly isn't there. And so at the minute, we find ourselves in a really difficult situation where we're having to clamber our way out with everything kind of going against us. What I would say is on the defensive side of the game, we didn't cover ourselves in glory. There is a certain amount of fatigue in there. We've talked a lot about bravery and confidence. That is absolutely lacking, and it's not there. But some really, really simple stuff. We just showed ourselves to be completely inept when it came to defending what Fulham were trying to do from an attacking point of view, playing roughly a 4-2-3-1. We know that in that situation, they're going to try and get into the area where the half space is and then create rotations. We had absolutely no idea how to deal with that. We showed that against Arsenal. But part of you thinks, okay, this is Arsenal, they're so well drilled and the quality of their players, maybe that's it. But no, we showed it once again in this match on the left-hand side. Every time a Fulham player made a straight run through the line and another Fulham player rotated in to come and collect possession, then it creates that little, that little sawtooth. We just looked like any 2 or 3 Tottenham players would be looking at each other and kind of wondering if someone else was going to do something about it instead of actually getting into those positions. And we certainly weren't snapping into challenges and trying to win first or second balls and win duels. So that's really, really disappointing. And that really is the area that's going to have to improve very, very quickly for us to be competitive on any metric going forward to try and stave off relegation. That was evident on the left-hand side, that was evident on the right. There was no difference between the two in this game. And that effectively is where the second goal came from. You've got Dom Solanke and Xavi Simons standing in front of the ball, but not really doing much to cut it out. We don't cut out the pass from Iwobi. Iwobi plays a very simple 1-2 with Harry Wilson. Dom Solanke looks over his shoulder, thinks to himself, well, that shouldn't be me there. Archie Gray gets pulled inside by a player coming in to collect the ball, which is Harry Wilson. And then Iwobi steps onto it. And yes, it's a lovely finish, with your side foot. You can punch it in and you can catch a keeper slightly off. I'm not blaming Vicario for the goal, but yeah, it's a really, really good finish. But you simply cannot get to that situation where in that space, one ball through the lines and a midfielder is then running at your defensive line with comfortable possession, let alone being able to have a shot from there. You could do 1,000 things once you're on the wrong side of that. And Archie Gray is in absolute no man's land, tracking his runner with no support around him. So we have to do better with that. And you could argue for the first goal, it was that same half space. So much time for Tete to put the ball over. Way too much time. So we need to fix that, because that was really, really poor. And I think the bit that was indicative for me that I saw was Tudor having a massive go at Xavi Simons at one point where Fulham had a throw. It was over on their left-hand side, so our right-hand side, the opposite side to where Simons was, and he had completely gone to sleep. He completely ignored the situation. It's on the other side of the pitch, not my problem, not for me to worry about. And you can see Tudor, hands in the air, screaming at Xavi, saying, what are you doing? And it was the simplest of things. It was just the reset position. It is, the ball's all the way over on this side, but you're too high and too wide from a previous phase. You've not done that simplest of things of wake up, switch on, put yourself back in the position you need to be. And for me, all across the pitch, that is symptomatic of how beaten down, how disinterested, how low on confidence the entire Tottenham team is. And that is just, I'm here, but I'm not here. And I'm just letting these games pass me by. And, it's all very well these players letting the games pass them by, but that is going to lead to relegation at this football club. And they're the guys who are going to be associated with it. And they're going to carry it. We're going to suffer, but they're going to have to carry it. So they better sort that out very, very quickly. I genuinely think that a lot of the players have not yet quite figured out what their roles are and where they need to be. We've seen that in the last two games. Tudor, this is where he's going to earn his money. He has to figure that out. And I've said this on the Oso Spurs channel. I think that we need to move to a more pragmatic, more 4-5-1 based system to be a bit more solid and plug those holes, and then send one of the central players up higher to support the striker and play a bit more percentage football. We're going full, 90s, 2000s, turning the opposition round, a very kind of Catenaccio style defensive setup. But yeah, we're going to have to do something to kind of wake these players up and get in a situation where we can make a difference and get some points and be a bit more defensively solid if we're going to get anything out of these remaining 10 Premier League games. And there's one other thing for me. I could go through the game and all of the things, like there was, again, I hate to just pick on one player because loads of the players could be in the firing line for this game, but very early on you had a moment with Xavi Simons which was indicative on the attacking side of the game of players not really knowing their roles, and Simons again, we had this one rare foray forward where he's broken the line, he's run in, Conor Gallagher's got high and wide, he's got himself into good position. The percentage ball is just to lay that ball out wide, and now we all crash the box and we all take up different positions and get on a different line, so there are options to lift it or cut it or hit it flat. Doesn't do that, cuts himself back inside and then tries an outside of the foot kind of shoveled flick into Solanke, and that was easy enough, I think, for maybe Bassi to step forward and to win it and to play forward. These kind of things need to change. It's all very well to try and play that way when you're an expressive team and you're playing really well and everyone knows what they're doing, but right now, back to basics. need to simplify it, and that was a really good example on the the attacking side of what we need to change and what we need to improve to get better. I'll give a very quick shout out to Matisse Dell, who did well when he came on. I think he deserves, maybe what he's doing in training is enough for managers not to trust him, but we need to see more of him because he's the only one that's got a bit of bravery when he comes on. Souza looked good. Start maybe to seed him into more minutes, but don't overcook it. Don't think he's going to be the solution. It's just, we were chasing the game and it was a good time to bring him on and he did okay. And then, get a few players back and see what we can do going forward. And I'll be intrigued to see how he deploys the system, given the amount of trouble that we've had in those defensive areas and half spaces trying to close it down. Players don't know what they're doing. We need to fix that very quickly. And then finally, I just want to pick up on something that I keep hearing kind of out there and people talking about Tottenham Hotspur, is that Tottenham have forgotten how to win. We don't know how to win, etc., etc., etc. And what I would point out from, seeing it from the other side of things is winning may be a habit, it's a nice trope that we use, but it's a collection of good and positive habits stacked on top of each other and put together that leads to that. It's not that you forget how, you don't have the knack of winning. It is doing the right things, putting in the required effort, and getting that harmony and that cohesion and being a little bit braver all together that leads to it. And then you do start winning, and then those positive attributes get strengthened. You realize this is the right thing to be doing because it's bringing me success, and therefore you double down on them, you do them more, and then you do them better, and then other people get to know what you're going to do that's going to be good, and they keep doing their stuff, and it all spins up into this kind of positive flywheel that becomes consistently winning and consistently getting results. Whereas I don't believe in this thing that you forget how to win or those kind of things. It's built on small little bits of behavior in the things that you do. And so, I don't think we can have this nice get out clause where the players are so lacking in confidence that they've forgotten how to win. We need to get rid of that. We need to get rid of that kind of thinking and that mentality. And we need to get into, these are the things we need to do. We need to be more competitive. We need to get better at our duels. We need to take better starting positions. We need to be better and execute going forward. And those things, when you do all of them and you do them clearly and consistently, will lead to better performances, and that will hopefully lead to better results. Nothing you can do about poor refereeing. Nothing you can do sometimes about luck and the rub of the green, and nothing you can do about teams that are clearly far above your level. So these are the things I want to see. And I want to not have any of these kind of get out clauses where we talk about, we've lost the knack or we don't know how to win. Anyway, not a great positive position to find ourselves in, but we've got a massive game against Crystal Palace in midweek. That one we do need to go and get a result. We do need to go and win now. And so, let's see what team we put out. Let's see what kind of performance we put on, and let's see what we come out of that game with. And then we can assess where we are towards the end of the week. Anyway, have a great week, everyone. And as ever, come on, Tottenham.